religion, sexual preferences, age, physical attributes. As you go through not just your closing, but through your questions, through your openings, through your voir dire, have you checked yourself? Have you checked your language? The worst thing on earth to do is to offend somebody unintentionally. Okay? When you hurt somebody's feelings, you should be glad you did it because that's what you wanted to do. When you hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally, it just means you're sloppy and careless. All right? Run it by somebody. If you don't have Asian friends, black friends, white friends, Hispanic friends, borrow some, okay? Ask somebody else, can I run this by your friend? All right? Is that, you know, if I say this, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because what is going to happen is, nobody's jumping over the bar and whipping your ass, but they got a plan. Okay? They got a plan. So think about all of those things. The use of slang. You know, again, it calls for, in my jurisdiction, where most of the jurors average 55, using slang is just like using Latin. Somebody's got to translate, right? Somebody's got to translate. And as you get older and your clients get younger, that's your job. All right? Have you talked to your clients? Did you ask them what happened? Well, you know, like we was chilling and then it was just woo, woo, woo. Can anybody give me a fair translation of woo, woo, woo? You know?
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. Right, okay? So, colloquial terms, cursing, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't know these people well enough. They have not given you permission to curse in front of them. And all of you know by now, I curse like a drunken sailor. I actually teach at Annapolis, cursing 101. So think about it, all right? Now, how do you start with your analogy? If you're a rookie, you start out, let me tell you a story, okay? This isn't hard. The intermediates when I was a kid. You know, intermediate 2 the other night while I was talking to my son, whatever the setup, the frame is. You know, if you think you're a big shot and you just want to launch, it is silence. And step forward and open your mouth, okay? A word about silence. It's pretty scary, isn't it? It's just so scary. I'm standing here, you know, and when we're silent and standing, what's going through our heads when we just shut up and stand still? Oh shit, okay. But you know what's so like psychotic about that? Because when you get silent, you're going, oh shit. They see my face. They see my hair. They see my suit. Well, people aren't blind just because you talk. They've seen all that shit already, right? But the silence is like, they're looking at me. Guess what they've been doing for the last 20 minutes, people? Get over yourselves, okay? Just stand still. It's all right. And it's powerful because when you get silent after you have been talking, the folks who have looked away, the folks who have strayed, nothing wakes a juror up quicker than silence. Because that says to them, the lawyer stopped talking, I can go to lunch now. So they've already trained themselves to wake up. All right. What do I do with the analogy when I'm done telling it? Again, if you're a beginner, that's what happened here. If you're an intermediate, use an image or a phrase. Advanced, recurring use of the image or phrase. So, ladies and gentlemen, he had it coming. All right, wrapping it up, which I am about to do. Jury instructions. Everything Steve Rent said, you know, I hope you wrote it down. If not, have somebody email it to you. It's true, fine. Think about, though, the judge has a right to give jury instructions. You have a right, again, to talk about the inferences from it. So, You know, what is the bias, motive, and interest instruction? It's basically this, that common sense ought to tell you not to believe a lying, robbing, killing snitch with something to gain, I might add. Right? That's the jury instruction. That's what you're going to have to convey. Not the credibility of the witness can be assessed, blah, blah, blah. Break it down, translate. That's what you got up there to do. All right, ending. Again, articulate your theme, strong point, signal you are about to end. What's this? You. Okay? Right? Signal you are about to end. But be honest. Be truthful. I only have one more question, right? It turned out to be 5. Okay. So, when you tell the jury you're about to sit down, I mean, don't give them, you got 3 minutes more, listen to me. But you cannot be up there another 15 minutes. So when you are about to sit down, and only when you know it, do you say it. And the only way you know when you are about to sit down is because you have memorized your last 2 paragraphs. When you get ready to launch into your last 2 paragraphs, then you know you can safely say, I will have to sit down in a minute. Or I'm going to sit down in a minute. Do you memorize your entire closing? No. For me, I memorize what's going to come out my mouth when I first stand up. Why? Because that allows me to settle down internally. It allows me to focus, and it allows the jitters and the flutters and the butterflies to get out of my stomach without fumbling for paper. So I memorize the first paragraph that's coming out of my mouth and the last 2 paragraphs. In between there, you can use notes. Again, I don't think jurors expect you to talk to them for 45 minutes, and unless it's an extraordinary case, it shouldn't be much longer than that, without referring to your notes. They know you're a professional. You are a lawyer. And by the way, where's the guy I jumped at lunch? You know who you are. Where's the guy I jumped at lunch? He's in El Group. Right, I'm sorry, tell me.
You talking about jumping me?
Huh?
You talking about jumping me about how it's a story?
No, I was talking about jumping you about how it's a show.
It's a show?
Okay. He told me it was a show, and I sort of lost my mind. Okay. It's not a show what you're doing, folks. There are elements that we can take from any and all disciplines. But when I stand up to talk to a jury, it's not about, we give you these things so that you can practice them, but if I am giving a closing, if I am doing a cross, if I am doing a direct, and I am where I'm supposed to be, I don't know really where I am in the courtroom. If it's working, I know it, but I am not going to stop in the middle of a question and say, oh shit, I'm not on my mark. It's not about, these are the exact words that must come out of my mouth. If I am saying what needs to be said, it's not important that I stumbled over a word, or that I stuttered, or that I got it wrong. No, it's not a script, it's not a show, it's not Hollywood. You use what you got from wherever you can get it. But if you think of what you are doing as a show, you are shortchanging yourself, and therefore you are shortchanging your client. And that's my second rant of the day, and I'm done with that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Again. And so you got to let the jury know you are looking for a not guilty. But the other thing you can do, when I talked about translating and explaining and empowering the jury, here's one. It's free. You can take it with you. Before you sit down, you can say in your own words, find a way to say it, I am about to sit down. What I'm asking you to do, because I will not be in the jury room with you. If there is something that I have done to offend you, don't take it out on my client. I'm sorry. If there is something I have forgotten to say and you think of it, you say it. If you go back there and you say, I wonder why Ms. Conyers didn't bring this up. That seemed important. You bring it up for me. Invite them to help you, okay? Now, people are going to go back in the jury room and play Perry Mason on their asses. All right? But it empowers them. It says, this is in your hands now. Help a sister out here. So, make it your own variation of it, but you got to let them know they got to keep fighting for your client because you're out the game. All right. Don't forget, the jury gets to talk. Your theory, your theme, your analogy. Again, they got to remember it. They got to rely on it. Then they got to remember it. That's the only way they get to repeat it, right? After you've done your closing, sit your monkey ass down, okay? And then all you got to do is wait for the 3 sweetest words in the English language. They're coming, so you got to wait for them. Not guilty. God damn it.